Thanks for that question, because it's really key to our brand identity. In terms of the sourcing aspect of it, we were lucky enough to be located from a manufacturing perspective up in Eureka in Northern California. Eureka is the county seat of Humboldt County. And so Humboldt County is widely known as the epicenter of cannabis culture. And it also has the longest, most experienced farmers, multi-generational farmers that have the widest variety of strains. And it's really, it's a wonderful place to source biomass from. So we try and be a positive member of the community. And so we're sourcing all of our biomass from these independent farmers that are up in the beautiful Redwood Mountains of Humboldt County, where the tallest trees in the world grow, and also the best cannabis in the world grows. So sourcing is critical for us. From a value standpoint, we source from farmers that are growing sustainably and that really care about their community, and we try and do the same. That pure sun-grown cannabis that's triple tested and grown without pesticides is what fuels all of our products. And I'm glad you asked about the entourage effect, because one of our primary differentiating factors as a company is that all of our products are made using solventless, chemical-free processes that preserve the full spectrum of the plant. So what I mean by that is, and I'm sure many of your viewers know this already, but if you, for instance, cook cannabis in oil at a low temperature, as I did for the first product, and as we continue to do through our lipid infusion process, if you take a analysis of the flower, and it'll list out the percentages of THC, CBD, all of the cannabinoids, CBG, CBN, as well as the terpene profile. When you test the oil that it is cooked in, it'll have the same ratios of cannabinoids. The full profile that was present in the flower is now present in the oil. And we then blend that into our other ingredients. And I believe that's why qualitatively our balm is the top selling balm in California, as opposed to, say, the pharmaceutical way of extraction, which is to isolate a single molecule like CBD and then match it against a particular indication. For instance, childhood epilepsy or Dravet syndrome, which was the subject matter of Epidiolex, that study I referred to earlier. So in the pharmaceutical world, you use extraction methods that just isolate one specific compound and match it against that disease state. And that's what it gets approved for. Our approach is much more based around plant medicine and preserving the integrity of the plant and recognizing that there are beneficial interactions of all the cannabinoids, and the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, and in our view. And that's really what the entourage effect is all about, coupled with the fact that we just don't know about the beneficial aspects of a lot of these cannabinoids. You read about new studies every day that indicate how exciting the plant is from a scientific perspective. So our approach is, let's preserve the full spectrum of the plant. Let's include the plant fats and other phytonutrients that are in the plant. And we think that that's what provides a much more efficacious product. Yeah, we've sort of followed this principle that started with the pain balm about utilizing artisanal and mechanical methods that preserve the full spectrum that we just discussed. And those methodologies are more challenging to scale from an industrial standpoint. And we've tried to do that. I think we've done that effectively. But that's when you ask sort of providers in the field about extraction methodologies, ours are quite unusual, because folks that are, say, coming from other industries are utilizing things like hydrocarbon extraction or butane extractions. These are methodologies that have been in use in other industries for a long time and have their benefits in terms of existing machinery that you can scale. And so there is definitely the argument for the economic, the cost benefit of utilizing more industrial methods that are in approach. We've taken the approach of iterating around, again, these more artisanal methods that preserve that full spectrum approach. So so we have a proprietary lipid infusion, for instance. Well, let me just explain. So when we take in flower and biomass to make our products, the first thing that we do with it is we grind it and then spin it in a sieve to take the keef off of it, which are the little trichome crystals that you see if you hold up a bud to a magnifying glass. And so those crystals break off in the form of powder. I'm sure you're familiar with it. And then we press rosin with that keef inside sort of a tea bag, a large tea bag in parchment paper, and you press it between two pneumatic plates, and it extrudes this wax. It breaks the trichome heads, and it extrudes this wax. We use that wax for our skincare products. We blend it in to our skincare products as well as our transdermal patches. And then we take that spent biomass that still is chock full of cannabinoids, and we will soak that in one of three base oils: coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil, or MCT. And we only add water and heat and sort of pressure sequencing. That's our sort of secret sauce to get the maximum infusion rates. That lipid infusion methodology is what fuels our tincture line, our topical lines, and our in the bombs, as well as the patches. So we have other methodologies that we use. All of them share those characteristics of preserving the full spectrum of the plant and keeping all of the plant fats and phytonutrients. You asked about other methodologies that are in the market. There you have your butane and hydrocarbon extractions that preserve the full spectrum of the plant, but introduce a solvent into the process, and then it's off gas to take the solvent out at the end of the process. There's typically some residual parts that are remain present, some solvent that remains in those products. Another very popular, the most popular and largest extraction methodology is the CO2 supercritical extraction. That actually breaks the plant into two beakers at the end of the process. One is the clear THC or CBD components, and then the other beaker contains a rich dark fluid with all the terpenes and the plant fats. And if you ever smoke a vape pen that has that little tang at after you take the hit, that's because they've done a CO2 extraction and reintroduced the terpenes to reconstitute what was sort of already present in the plant. While that methodology is effective, and certainly for certain approaches within the pharmaceutical industry, for instance, when you want to just have that one isolated piece of the puzzle, it's an effective methodology. It's just a different approach than we take.